Hello, this is Kimberly. Today is August. Today is August 2023, and I am Kimberly, and I am going to talk about America again and the world. Okay, Maui. Maui, they had those terrible fires, suspicious fires. Very suspicious. And we know, because no car could melt like that. No car could melt. It was a heat wave that hit that from a heating machine, a heat wave machine. Because no automobile could do that. No automobile could melt like that in the metal. The houses wasn't many trees around. How did it just burn down the area? And so fast. It was a heat wave machine. Somebody did it from a distance away. Somebody white did it from a distance away. That's what I believe. But I have to say too that Maui also belonged to African Americans. That's a part of that area in Hawaii, Honolulu, Maui. All those are our islands. They do not belong to whites. They do not belong to Japanese. They do not belong to Orientals, Asians, none of them. They do not belong to Chinese. They do not belong to any of them. They do not belong to red people. Red people have been exterminated, made extinct by whites. They are no longer here. There are some that are mixed with red people. Some are not mixed with red. They're just lying. And some are just downright white looking. All of them are whitish looking, trying to call themselves those red people. The red people are dead and gone. They are very red, the dark red. And I spoke of this on my other video. Those people are dead and gone. There are those that have that a little bit of makeup, but they weren't whitish looking. They were dark. They were dark red. Their flesh was dark red. They were dark and dark red. A fleshy color red. They were fleshy color red. And speaking of other parts that belong to us, and I have to correct things here. As far as our land is concerned, the people you call police, those that are called police, they come from the past. The police, the sheriff, but they're calling themselves police and sheriff and cop. They come from the past, out of slavery. They were the slave catchers. That's what the people in the past did, slave catching blacks as slave, runaway slaves. They are a remnant of that. They are a remnant of that. They are part of that. They do not supposed to exist. They do not supposed to exist. They cannot do the strange things that whites made up called arrest. Arrests. They made up that word. They made up that action. It's wicked. They're not supposed to be doing this. They just mutated here into our world, which whites are actually approximately 100,000 years old. They guess about it. They guess about it. They're only approximately 100,000 years old. We are over 10 million years old. How are white people, how are blacks? And that includes African Americans, which are also 100,000 years old. The African Americans are blacks. They come from this black race. We come from this black race, of course, from the beginning of human creation. How are African Americans allowing this white mutant to put their hands on them? How? How are you doing that? Why are you doing that? They have no authority and no authority over you or in this world, in this universe. You have allowed them to put their hands on you and to so-called arrest. You arrest black people when they're not supposed to do any of it. They're criminals. The sheriff, there's no such thing as sheriff. This is our land on top of that. This is our planet Earth. But this, as African Americans, is our land from beyond the New York borders, past California. This is our land. All of it. And what blacks are really don't seem to, well, African Americans and no blacks on this planet really understand that all this, we have a continent, really, a continent that makes up so-called America, which that name has to be changed, and all these locations they call states, just to continue to try to grab hold with claws and keep it clutched to themselves as if they own it, and they don't. They're criminals. Canada belongs to us. Every bit of it, every inch, every centimeter is ours. Mexico, Puerto Rico, Guatemala, Belize, Costa Rica, and all those other parts and all those other lands are in this hemisphere. We have a gigantic continent. This is what we own. This is what African American women especially own. This is ours, African American women and African American girl children. This is ours. It belongs to African American black women. And I also have to say, light skin is, and when it comes to American and African Americans, light skin is part black as well. I thought I'd say that. But light skin isn't black, but it's part black. So, all of this, we have this, all of this land is ours. All the houses, all the buildings, the Empire State Building is ours. Everything here is ours. The bridges, they can't charge people anything on this highway. This is our highway, our streets, our everything here. There's not supposed to be a border over there where they call Mexico. That wall don't supposed to be there either. But all of it is ours. All of it. Even everything. Everything is ours. The trees, the birds, the bees. All the animals, the highway tunnels, the water, the air, the forest, the woods, the big cats, the little cats, big dogs, the little dogs. All these animals belong to us. All these buildings you see is ours. Over there with a court, they make their fake old court system. They're criminals, every last one of them. They cannot make a court system here. All those buildings belong to African Americans. Every last one of them. Brooklyn Bridge belonged to African Americans. All of that, the so-called military bases belong to African American. All especially belong to African American women. And all the tunnels, all the underground places, underground bases, underground this, underground that. Any houses under there is ours. Any hiding places are ours. The mountains are ours. The mountains belong to African Americans around here. All these are African American. The Grand Canyon belonged to African American. African American. All this New Jersey is ours. And I see that Faco, what is he, supposed to be a mayor or governor? He's over there talking about, he's trying to act like he's the authority when he is not. He's a criminal. He's a part of this wicked system. And I'm telling them they better stop. I'm telling them it's not theirs and they know it, and they are a bunch of criminals. They belong to, and they, knowing that it's African American, they keep going. They're not supposed to keep going. They're supposed to leave. They're supposed to leave. It isn't that. They can't make people pay tolls. They can't make people pay for gas. The gas is ours. Everything is ours. The oil for the automobile is ours. Everything is ours. They don't supposed to be paying rent, none of that. Mortgage, none of that. Paying for houses, none of that. Paying for wood, none of that. They're not supposed to be chopping down our Amazon rainforest either. Isn't it that? Anyhow, they're not supposed to be, because the planet is ours too, belong to the black race. They're not supposed to be chopping down and burning down these trees. They're not supposed to be destroying the woods, the forests, none of that on this planet Earth. Aliens, they don't belong to aliens. They don't supposed to be taking magnets out of the magnet material out of the ground. They're not. They're slick. They divert you to another type of natural resources while they steal the magnets, the magnet rocks and resources in the ground, and other materials. They try to act like the oil, what they're calling oil, and gas. They try to act like it's theirs, and nothing belongs to that white mutant race. Nothing. It's not yours. Every building, every house you call a mansion belong to us. And I said when I was in my teens, when I was a teenager, said we will get them all back. We will get them all back. All these houses are ours, not yours. Blacks, the African Americans better rise up